So, former First Lady Michelle Obama, she's known and admired for many things. In particular, for an often quoted "they go low, we go high" motto, which she delivered back in 2016 during her speech at the Democratic Convention. And she says, when someone is cruel or acts like a bully, you don't stoop to their level. She says, no, our motto is, when they go low, we go high. And I love that. I put a love heart up on my board. I read it often. And I'll come back to this later on in this video to explain the real nub of why I'm referring to it here today. It's something that I feel strongly about. The field of hypnotherapy runs the risk of being held back and damaged by those who spread misinformation, those who market too loudly without any substance, and in particular those who kind of bully alternative perspectives to their own. And especially when those alternative perspectives are those of us who seek evidence and drive towards credibility within our field and a raising of ethical and professional standards within the field of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. It's a decade, it's 10 years since I highlighted a media story that's something you'd expect me to have been championing. And there was a move here in the UK whereby police were being funded to go on a hypnosis course. So back in 2009, an article in the Daily Telegraph stated, and I will read this quote, officers are being encouraged to sign up to a course by Tom Silver, who is better known as a celebrity hypnotherapist on American chat shows, in an attempt to gain more information from suspects. Mr. Silver, who has appeared on the Montel Williams and Ricky Lake chat shows on the US TV, where he gave a guest an orgasmic handshake, normally charges £1,000 a day for courses in his home country, but after being contacted by PC Mark Hughes of Cheshire Police, Mr. Silver, a master hypnotist, agreed a free one-day taster course for cops before they sign up to his 6-day course costing £1,500. That's the end of the quote from the Telegraph. First up, I'd say that the UK has some of the world's leading and foremost authorities in the field of hypnosis, people who have contributed masses of empirical evidence and research to the body of material on this subject and evidence on this subject. The UK homes some of the most progressive and highly respected schools in the world. Why, oh why, would they not seek out somebody like Graham Wagstaff or Michael Heap, who have been expert witnesses on legal cases concerning hypnosis, or at the very least someone whose main claim to fame is not going to be milked and criticized within the media as a celebrity hypnotherapist who did an orgasmic handshake on the Ricky Lake show. When we have such a plethora of brilliant minds, authors, researchers and teachers here in the UK, people with vast backgrounds and experience in courtrooms where hypnosis has been questioned, along with the theory underpinning it, being examined, why do we not invest in them and their evidence and those notions? I think partly because, and perhaps it's because they are lesser known to the public and would require some research to track down. But those who make the most noise, end up being more easily findable. Anyway, so PC Mark Hughes, an investigative skills trainer with Cheshire Constabulary at the time, personally organised Mr. Silver's trip to the university, and he said that forensic hypnosis is the next logical step for investigators to use when other more traditional methods fail, and said officers interested in new techniques should sign up to the course. I want to read you this. PC Hughes told Police Review, "Putting people in a receptive brainwave state makes it likelier that the truth would come out. Forensic hypnosis is a scientific approach as helmets monitor brain activity, and anyone who is lying would have wide-awake brainwave patterns. Forensic hypnosis does not prove guilt, but it can give new lines of inquiry when traditional methods have failed." I have studied neuro-linguistic programming, where you look at language patterns and eye movements to see if someone is lying. For me, it is the next logical step for investigators to take. It is the next frontier. And that's the end of the quote. And my oh my, I think this is exasperating to read out and to share. At least for me, it is. If you're familiar with my work, you'll probably know why. Do rewind, do listen to me reading that quote again, because it is so riddled with misinformation. It's incredible. There's like I said earlier, there's a very large body of evidence to demonstrate, but also to indicate that there's no set of eye movements that indicate truth or lies. There is empirical evidence to suggest that it's flawed. The eyes do move when people think and communicate, but it tends to be different for all of us. There's plenty of evidence online to show as much, let alone if people actually looked deeper and further. It's even conceded today by many NLP training schools. Anyhow, David Pickover, a former assistant chief constable of West Yorkshire Police and Police Review's legal editor, said, "It's difficult to imagine circumstances where hypnotism is sensible or necessary, but there is nothing to prevent officers suggesting it to witnesses." I will directly quote him again. "The notion of regressing a witness so that a more accurate record of events is stimulated sounds an attractive proposition, but we must recognize that the boundaries of hypnosis and its worth are still vague. At the least viewed with suspicion, and at the worst with total skepticism. Evidence obtained under hypnosis would unquestionably be intensively examined by courts and viewed with extreme caution." And there ends the quote. And it's quite right. Hypnosis has been dismissed by courts of law all over the world in recent years due to its lack of efficacy and reliability in extracting the truth from alleged criminals. Again, there are big bodies of evidence to suggest that it is not best used in this manner. Hypnosis is not some truth serum that can just be applied and people suddenly spill their guts. Again, there's strong evidence to support this. The article ends like this. "Silver has previously appeared on Ricky Lake, where he gave a woman an orgasmic handshake. He hypnotized a woman called Jamaica to sleep before he told the audience he would give her the greatest orgasm of her life when she woke up and shook a man's hand. She then woke up and lunged on men, getting more excited." And there's the end of that quote. And, isn't that just marvelous? Maybe the stereotypes of stage hypnosis that mislead public opinion could be lessened if a more suitable person be chosen. This seems like an appeal to the lowest common denominator. Yet, as I already said, we've got some incredibly well-respected authors and researchers, within this country who've devoted years to the field of forensic hypnosis, who have appeared in court on many occasions and have experience within this field. Yet, such a police initiative, which should be delighting people like myself, and correctly educating the public about its virtues, about the virtues of hypnosis, is actually being promoted as being run by the orgasmic handshake trainer. This should be a massive step forward, a way of showing the true efficacy of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Instead, we get sound bites of inaccuracies and petty nuances, likely to have people questioning why on earth it's being done. Now, this is just one single example of the central theme of this video today. People who market hypnosis in inaccurate ways as an appeal to their business, they're doing long-term damage to the entire field in the name of their own short-term gain. And that's what I find infuriating. Those that have ever listened to my Hypnosis Weekly podcast or trained with me at my college or seen some of my other videos on this channel, for example, all know I keep an eye on the way in which hypnosis gets portrayed out there in the world, in the media, for example, and heck, the media coverage is pretty bad. The TV depictions are awful. But the stuff that frontline hypnotherapy trainers and hypnotherapists say and do is unforgivable, in my opinion, when it starts leaning in certain ways. So my message today is a simple one, as stated at the beginning of today's video, and it's borrowed from the wonderful Michelle Obama. You know, when they go low, we go high. So, you know, in the face of the advice to grab attention at all costs, instead, choose to stay classy, you know, be credible, think critically, reason intelligently, display professionalism, rise up and portray yourself and this field in the way it deserves. We want this field to grow and develop and inspire for genuine reasons. If we want that for this field, more of us, you know, need to model something different. We need to lead in a different way, something for others to aspire towards, to grow into, instead of blindly following the loud, vapid marketeers, filling the world with empty hype and baseless sound bites for short-term gain. We want the next generation to be better than that. That's it. That's all for this video. I shall be back with something a little bit more uplifting next time out. Do subscribe to this channel. Go visit my college website for information on my online and classroom-based hypnosis courses. I send you my very best wishes. Goodbye for now.